Yun, inspirasyon para sa bawat Pilipino. 92.3 News FM, Radyo 5, Radyo 5. Ito ang totoong tunog ng serbisyo publiko.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play! Narito na ako, Noli Iyala, kilalanin ang mga nasa likod ng bawat laro. Sa buhay man o sa playing court, game na tayo! Power and Play sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Okay, Kom, nag-smite na ka.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ng bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Shibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, Pilipino, yan ang Pinoy.
Pagsisimula, pagtatapos at lahat ng kaligayahan sa paglalakbay sa sports. E di paano? Bangon na! Power and Play na! Power and Play with Noli Iyala. Naimbag nga bigat kada kayo amen apo. Magandang umaga po. Good morning Philippines. Nagbabalik po ang inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive. Chooks to go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan at ng true religion where passion meets power. Live from Baguio City. Isa pong malamig na umaga at malamig na pagtanggap po. Mainit na pagtanggap sa inyo lahat, sa inyo pong kasama tuwing Sabado, ang Power and Play. Naku, napakaganda po dito sa Baguio City. Maliwanag ang araw, wala hong ulan, ang klima ay napakaginaw. Kanina po, nasa mga 13-14 degrees. At talaga naman hong ang saya-saya dito po sa Baguio City. Of course, binabati po natin lahat ng ating mga kababayan, mga kaibigan, at mga kasama dito po sa norte, sa Hilaga pong Luzon, lalong-lalo na po ang aking mga kababayan sa San Esteban, Ilocos Sur. Binabati po natin ang lahat ng mga nakikinig sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM, sa lahat po ng ating mga jeeper, mga driver ng bus, mga nasa emergency rooms, call centers. Good morning everyone. And of course, lahat po ng mga nakatutok sa 1PH on Signal TV, magandang umaga po. And lahat po ng nanonood worldwide via Facebook Live sa 1PH, Radyo 5 at Power and Play. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Noli Iyala. Marami po tayong pag-uusapan ngayon as usual. And of course, pagdating sa usapang sports, ang laging nasa tuktok po ay ang basketball, kung saan muling magkakaroon ng isa sa pinakamagandang eksena pagdating sa basketball. Yan po yung Game 7 na gaganapin bukas sa pagitan ng Barangay Ginebra Kings at ng Bay Area Dragons. That should be a terrific ball game. Gaganapin po yan sa Philippine Arena, kung saan ang PBA ay naghahanap ng record crowds. At hindi malayo sapagkat itong sharing ito very compelling at na talaga naman pong napaka-exciting. Pag-uusapan po natin mamaya yan. Kasama po ng ating mga kaibigan, ang magkapatid na mga Gregorio. Mga kasama po natin mamaya sa paghimay ng Game 7 ng Finals ng Commissioner's Cup, coaches Ryan Gregorio at Alan Gregorio. Mamaya po yan. Of course, pinag-uusapan natin ang pagsisimula at pagtatapos. Mamaya po sa second hour, makakapanayan po natin ang isang nagretirong kampiyon, si Azkals Captain Stephan Schrock. Samantalang makakausap din naman natin ang nagsisimulang kampiyon. Ang ngayon po ay kaisa-isang world champion ng Pilipinas, si WBO mini flyweight champion Melvin Jerusalem. Abangan niyo po yan. And of course, a fast take, naku, may init na mga hot takes mula kay Homer Saison at kay Aba Cordero. So, ready na po tayo mga kapatid ha. Mula sa napakaginaw na Baguio City, ito po ang Power and Play at simulan na natin sa pamamagitan ng ating paghimay o pagbibigay ng buod ng balita sa Sports Weekly Highlights.
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala.
Game 7, the two best words in sports. At dyan na nga napunta ang PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals sa pagitan ng Barangay Ginebra at Bay Area Dragons. Tinakasan ng Dragons ang Gin King sa Game 6, 87-84 sa pagbubuhat nang nagbabalik na si Miles Powell. Inaasahang historic crowd attendance ang dudumog bukas sa Philippine Arena para sa winner take-all championship match. Good news naman, pinirmahan na ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang naturalization papers ni Justin Brownlee. Ibig pong sabihin, ganap na nating kababayan si JB. Pwede nang maglaro ang Barangay Ginebra import at reigning best import of the conference para sa national team. Inaasahang sasama na sa Gilas Pilipinas si Brownlee sa huling window ng FIBA World Cup qualifiers. At sa ibang balita, hindi na itutuloy ni UP Fighting Maroon star Carl Tamayo ang kanyang collegiate playing career. Lilipad na pa Japan ang forward para maglaro professionally sa Japan B-League. Pumirma si Tamayo sa Ryukyu Golden Kings bilang bago nilang player. Pinalitan niya bilang Asian import sa Team CJ Washington. Isa pang player na nagdesisyong maging OFBP o Overseas Filipino Basketball Player. Nasa South Korea na si Dave Ildefonso para inaasahan niyang debut sa Korean Basketball League. Maglalaro si Dave sa Suwon KT Sonic Boom. At of course, alam natin na si Dave ang anak ng PBA legend na si Danny Ai. Sa ibang balita, meron ng groupings para sa Women's Football Olympic Qualifying Tournament na lalaruan ng Pilipinas. Makakalaban ng koponan sa Group E ang Hong Kong, Tajikistan at Pakistan. Kailangang manguna ang Pilipinas sa grupo para makaangat sila sa second round ng qualifications. Sa tennis naman, first Grand Slam and many more to come. Yan ang mensahe ng Rafa Nadal Academy kay Alex Ayala matapos siyang mag-debut sa Australian Open. Maaga lamang nag-exit si Ayala sa round 1 ng tournament matapos mabigo kontra Misaki Doi sa 3 sets. At sa tennis pa rin, inanunsyo ni dating world number 1 Naomi Osaka na siya ay nagdadalang tao. Ilang araw lang yang matapos mag-withdraw ng Japanese star sa Australian Open. Inaasahang babalik sa competitive play si Osaka sa 2024. At yan po ang buod ng ating mga balita sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Naku, napakarami pong balita, of course, sa larangan ng sports. Nandyan din ang ka-anunsyo lamang ni pinag-usapan natin ang Japan, si Naoya Inoue, yung pong si The Beast, and maybe one of the best, if not the best pound-for-pound fighter today. Well, siya po ay bumaba na sa kanyang corona bilang WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO Bantamweight Champion of the World. Siya po Unified Bantamweight King. Pero sinurrender niya po ang kanyang mga titulo para po lumaban sa mas mataas na weight category. Ganyan talaga ang mga talagang naghahanap ng kasaysayan. And of course, si Inoue po ay isa sa pinakamahusay na boksingero ngayon pong mga panahon na ito. And maybe in all of boxing history, tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari sa kanyang career. Of course, dito po, pinag-uusapan natin ang pagdating sa PBA Finals. Tabla ang serya ng Bay Area Dragons at ng Barangay Ginebra Kings. 3-3 pagkatapos nanalo ang Bay Area nung Game 6, 87-84. Napakaganda nung laban. Bagamat nagpalit ng import, naglaro na nga si Miles Powell, mga kapatid, pero hindi pa rin ika nga naungusan at nakuha ng Ginebra ang corona. Kaya po ngayon ay meron tayong winner take all bukas sa Philippine Arena. Aba, kung wala pa kayong ticket, pasensya na kayo sabagat baka wala ng ticket. Sabagat talaga pong pahirapan at napakarami ang gustong magpunta sa Philippine Arena. Ang balita ko, sana ma-confirm to, pero sabi ni Kume Willie, mukhang meron yatang shuttle buses, no, na maghahatid sa mga ticket holders sa certain points sa Metro Manila patungo po ng Philippine Arena. So hanapin niyo po 'yan at let's enjoy Game 7. Ito po ay makasaysayan, and of course itong seryeng ito has been very, very compelling. Kaya po ito rin ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong araw na to sa ating pulso ng bayan. Tungkol po sa Game 7 na pinag-uusapan ng lahat ng mga sports fans. Ang tanong, ano po ang bold prediction ninyo para sa Game 7 ng PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals? Ito pong Pulso ng Bayan ay hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Ulitin ko po yan, Ano po ang bold prediction na sa tingin nyo mangyayari? Game 7, Commissioner's Cup Finals, bukas po yan. Kung gusto nyo makipagtalakayan sa amin, magpadala lamang ng text 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay mag-comment sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play, Facebook ng 1PH o ng Radyo 5 o di kaya sa aking Twitter account @Noli Iyala. Again, ano po ang prediction nyo para sa Game 7? Ang dami ko na nabasa. Naku, yung mga prediction na puputok ng hustong-gusto si Justin Brownlee, tuloy-tuloy sa isa na namang corona, o di kaya naman ay makakabawi itong si Miles Powell para sa unang corona ng isang guest team, isang foreign team sa PBA. Mamaya, kung tayo po ay papalarin, babasahin pa po natin lahat ng inyong mga komentaryo. Alright mga kapatid, bago tayo magpatuloy, isa lamang paalala mula sa ating mga kaibigan from Joyride Super App. Ito po ang ating Joyride Super App Top Up promo sa Power and Play. Napakadali lamang po para sumali at manalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App. Ang Joyride po ang nagpapatakbo ng motorcycle taxi sa Metro Manila at Metro Cebu. Sila po ay may delivery service at meron po silang Joyride Car. Joyride Car, 4-wheel vehicles po yan na pwede nyo pong i-book din. Mag-download lamang ng latest version ng Joyride Super App. Kuhanan ng screenshot yung app's home screen kasama po ng inyong pangalan. Ipadala ang screenshot sa Power and Play Facebook page via PM. Isama nyo po ang inyong buong pangalan at registered mobile number sa Joyride account. At kami po ay pipili sa kadululuhan ng show ng 5 lucky winners ng 1,000 pesos JR Pay wallet credits para po sa inyong delivery at mga transportation requirements. Joyride Super App Top Up promo sa Power and Play. Alright, at this point, magsimula na tayo sa huntahan dito po mula sa Baguio City. Ito po ang ating paboritong segment, ang Fast Take.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
At ang Fast Take ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive. And today, we are again fortunate to have with us ating pong mga kaibigan, mga veterano at mga balik fast takers, mga suki natin sa Power and Play. Walang iba kundi si Aba Cordero ng Philippine Star at si Homer Sison live from Chicago mula sa spin.ph. Aba, magandang umaga, Homer. Thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
From a very chilly Baguio City. Alam ko, mas malamig dyan sa Chicago. Walang tatalo dyan. Pero masarap na dito, Abak. Masarap mag-golf dito, Abak. Oh, nakamute ka yata, Bak. Nakamute ka pa.
Yes, Chairman.
Homer, ayan.
Yung video mo.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Hello, nakita mo pa yung video ko, Homer? Kita mo naman yung naka-jacket pa ako, maglalaro lang.
13 degrees. I saw it. Yeah.
Oh,
Parang buong na.
Oo nga eh. Kaya nakakatuwa. It's very nice to be here. A little bit very relaxing and of course, masarap makasama ang pamilya. Homer, good to see you again. Naku maraming nangyayari sa mundo ng sports, lalong-lalo na sa NBA, pero alam ko na ang iyong hometown Chicago Bulls ay mukhang matitisod pa at hindi makakapasok ng playoffs.
Yes, they don't look good. They don't look good. The East is very strong this year, Commissioner.
Well, let me ask you lang. You know, this is a very interesting time, and ngayon just to ask you just one question before we go to the fast take issues.
Yes.
Si Melvin Jerusalem will be my guest later. Siya ang kauna-unahang Pilipino na ngayon na naging world champion muli. How do you see Jerusalem? And sa tingin mo ba matagal lang magiging reign nitong si Melvin sa WBO?
Oh, Chairman, after the victory, I was chatting with JC Manangkil, ano? Ang una ko sinabi is mabigat pala ang kamay nitong si Melvin, ano? Nakita mo naman with one right straight. Talagang bumagsak tong si Taniguchi. Akala ko yung basketball player na si Taniguchi. Sabi ko nga, dahil pa uminom ng 2 kantos, talagang nalasing sa suntok. Nalasing sa suntok ni Melvin, ano? So I see Melvin, baka madaming pahirapan sa 105-pound division ito.
Maganda yung aming usapan at talagang very kampante, kumpiyansa si Melvin. Pero sabi niya, hindi pa to panahon para ako kumita. Sabi niya, maganda yung kanya sabi. Sabi niya, hindi bali na yung price ko, mababa pa yan. Kasi challenger ako ngayon, saka na yan, basta gusto ko lang maging hari muli para sa ating bansa. Talking about being hari, Homer, nabalita ko nga kanina, Naoya Inoue gave up all of his belts sa bantamweight division. How do you see that move? And anong nakikita mo kay Inoue in the heavier weight classes?
Well, I think his power will travel well in the featherweight division, Commissioner. And I think it was a function of kasi mahirap mag-keep ng weight. Even look at Casimero, he could no longer sustain as a bantamweight. Jerwin Ancajas is climbing up in weight. As a boxer matures, also the body develops, and it's hard. Even Manny Pacquiao, the greatest of them all, had to go sa huling laban nga ni Pacquiao. At one point, he fought at 154, a catch weight. So this was a decision not based. Kasi kung pag manatili siya sa bantamweight, he'd make a lot of money by those 4 defenses alone as being the defending champions. But ang kampo niya, I think it had found it no longer sustainable. So kaya hence the climb to the higher division, Commissioner.
It will be very interesting kung sino kanya mga makakatagpo dyan. And of course, kung mananatili nga, sabi mo nga, yung lakas ni Inoue. But ako, I'm a big believer doon sa Japanese fighter. I've seen his fights and wow, this is a guy na talagang hindi lamang matagal ang magiging paghahari sa boxing ko, pero talagang very entertaining at para nakikita mo si Manny Pacquiao nung mga bata-bata siya, talagang iba yung star quality nitong si Inoue. Alright, let's go to our fast take issues. Marami to, magaganda yung mga issue natin ngayong umagang ito and I wanna go right into it. Alam niyo naman, dito po sa fast take, walang tama, walang mali, at ito pinakamahalaga, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, wag magagalit sapagkat medyo mabibigat ang mga issue ngayong umagang ito. I will begin with the first issue. Ang ating tanong, alam naman natin, Game 7 bukas, napakabigat. So, hindi ko hihingin sa inyo kung sino mananalo. Pero ang tatanungin ko lang, sino sa tingin ninyo ang magiging barometer o sukatan para manalo ang isang kopono, yung mga 2 kopono na naglalaban sa Game 7 ng PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals? I'll begin with you, Abak. 1 minute. Go!
Yes, para sa akin, Chairman, it will be the imports, Justin Brownlee for Ginebra and Miles Powell for Bay Area. Of course, the locals will step up as well, maybe hit crucial baskets or even the game winner. But overall, It's how Brownlee and Powell will perform. Ano? Very interesting. Si Brownlee is no stranger to the Philippine arena and is used to playing before a packed audience. If we see the game tied with 5 or 10 seconds, expect Brownlee to take the last shot. Ano? Ito naman si Powell, chairman. Remember, he has not lost a game in the PBA.
Oo nga.
0 in the eliminations and then 1 in game 6. Ano? I was there sa Big Dome. Kitang-kita na talagang Bay Area was going for Powell. Ano? I'm not sure if he's ever been to a game 7. Pero parang nasanay na sila in the 6 games sa finals. Parang nasanay na sila. And Bay Area has proven that they can handle the Ginebra crowd. So expect fireworks tomorrow in Bukawi.
New Year on in January 15. Ika nga, New Year pa rin at fireworks. At grabe ang respeto ng dalawang koponan na to. I've seen the narratives, yung sinasabi nung isa dun sa kabila, talagang ang respeto napakataas. And it will be very, very interesting. So, as the imports para sa iyo, Abak, as the imports go, so will their teams. I'll go with you, Homer. Sino sa tingin mo ang magiging barometer for the two teams in Game 7 ng Commissioner's Cup Finals? 1 minute, Homer. Go!
Justin Brownlee, and more so na nakapahinga siya. Justin Brownlee has been playing punishing minutes in this series, Commissioner. In Game 6, he played all but 38 seconds. So may bulong-bulong nga na the Ginebra benefited from the sudden, all of a sudden nagiging Sunday ang Game 7 instead of a Friday. Because Brownlee would have been really taxed, would have been really tired. But that's beside the point. He will be coming in there fresh, healthy, and being a newly naturalized Filipino citizen. I think what better way to reciprocate the privilege than to deliver a title to Ginebra against the so-called invaders. On the other side, I think the factor for Bay Area Dragons is Glenn Young. The only game in this series, Commissioner, that was not close was Game 5. Bay Area survived without Powell. They survived without Nicholson, but they did not win. It wasn't even close. Tambak ang Game 5. Why? Glenn Young wasn't there. Glenn Young is the straw that steers the drink of this Bay Area Dragons. He averages 4.8 assists per game, but that's on the surface parang maliit, but the flow of the offense with Glenn Young directing the offense, mas maganda tignan ang Bay Area. That's the reason why Powell will be open, Corey Lamb would be open. At sa tingin ko, if Young delivers, because Powell is hindi natin alam kung mag-sore ba yung tendon. We don't know if it's 100%. His conditioning is not the same. He hasn't played in a month. So, he will get his points as a scorer. But Glenn Young is the faithful barometer that will determine the success of Bay Area Dragons in Game 7.
I cannot disagree more. But of course, the other thing about that, yung sinasabi mong pagpapahinga para kay Brownlee, it also works in the same way para kay Glenn Young. And even for Miles Powell, na alam naman natin, is coming back from an injury. So I guess, you want both teams to be at their best talagang para makita natin kung sino talaga ang magaling. And I think this is, I totally agree. I think that both teams will be at their peak come Sunday and it should be a humdinger of a finals. Let's go to our second issue of the morning. Napakaganda nitong issue natin ito. Umalis na si Carl Tamayo patungo sa Japan B-League. Carl Tamayo, one of the best amateur players today in the Philippines, lumaro sa Gilas, Pilipinas. And of course, yung tulong niya sa UP Fighting Maroons, hindi pwedeng masukat. So ang tanong, malaki ba ang epekto ng pag-alis ni Carl Tamayo sa UP Fighting Maroons at sa UAAP o collegiate basketball? I'll begin with you, Homer. 1 minute. Go.
Without Carl Tamayo, para yung Philippine Star without Abba Cordero. It's just not the same. It's not the same. So, I interviewed, in the course of the UAAP finals, I interviewed Coach Tab Baldwin. Tinanong ko siya, pero ayaw niya magpa-quote kasi it's not prudent to quote, the player from the other side. But he had so much to say about Carl Tamayo. He was the player that the Ateneo feared the most. According to Coach Baldwin, he's a disruptor on defense and he's a facilitator on offense. He has the size, the agility. He was the perfect big, Commissioner. And then if you look at this, the offense flows through him because he shoots three. He drags the tallest defender from UAAP, from Ateneo, Ange Kwame would sometimes be dragged outside because Tamayo can nail the three. And, you know, he's a willing passer. He's a very good teammate. So UP, I think, would still be good because they have so much talent, but they will never be the same without Tamayo.
Mhm. Absolutely. Talagang iba naman yung dating at bigay ni Carl Tamayo para sa kanyang koponan. But basketball goes on. Abak, same issue. Malaki ba ang epekto ng pag-alis ni Carl mula sa UP at sa UAAP? 1 minute, Abak. Go!
Yes, sir. I had the same thing in mind, no, that the UP Maroons and the UAP in general will never be the same again without Carl Tamayo. Ang masakit dito is yung eligibility niya eh. Eligible pa siya, not 1, but 3
Oo nga.
Ano?
Oo.
So, when with others bowing out, kasama ito si Sab Lucero, it will be very difficult for UP to make a stand in season 86. Ano? If they get to the Final Four, siguro, good. Pero alisin mo si Tamayo and si Lucero in one game, nararamdaman ito pa, buong season na wala na sila. No? But I heard may padating na bago ang UP, someone who can turn things around. Point guard.
Ba?
No?
Aba?
Also, I cannot blame Carl. Ano? Ang balita, he signed a 3-year contract worth, wow, talagang maybe 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as much as Julmar Fajardo's salary in the PBA. No? Hindi ba? So parang bigla naging rebuilding team itong UP without Carl Tamayo and the others who graduated. Big shoes to fill.
Maganda yung punto mo, Abak, sabagat, of course, if you put Carl Tamayo in the equation together with Lucero and Galinato, nawala rin si Harry Galinato.
Yes.
Nawala yung big front line ng UP. Naiwan na lang si Diouf and we don't know who else will be stepping up. No? So that's big para sa UP come season 86. But I think from UAAP stand, alam mo, malaking bagay. Your biggest star leaves the UAAP with so many years of eligibility. Ako, I cannot blame Carl. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance and I always support, going out to greener pastures and protecting your family and taking care of your family. Kaya naman sa akin, importante na yung mga PBA teams, lalong-lalo na yung mga bottom teams, importante magpalakas yan. Kasi natatakot dito mga player na to na pag na-drop sila, at napunta sila sa isang mahinang tip, mawawalan din sila ng kanilang kinikita. So again, it's important. Ito na to kumbaga, pyramid to Everybody has to help out in order to protect the industry of basketball. And talking about that, our third issue is right about that. Ang ating ikatlong issue this morning ay simple-simple. Nagkaroon ng trade between Terra Firma muli at Northport. Another number 1 pick has been traded by the Jeep. Ang tanong, ano ang assessment ninyo sa naging trade ng Terra Firma kay Joshua Monzon para kay Kevin Ferrer ng Northport? I'll begin with you, Abak. 1 minute. Go!
Well, I don't consider this a blockbuster trade, but for the players, individually, it's a big deal. Si Joshua, sir, is now with Northport and si Kevin with Terra Firma. Para kay Joshua, 27 years old with a great promise, moving to Northport gives him a bigger chance, a stage to show his real worth. Mahirap kasi being drafted first overall by a team that went on a losing streak that as nakasing haba na, So hindi lumabas talaga yung laro niya But being a professional, and this boy from California played his heart out. And now, Northport na siya. Who knows? Baka naman stopover lang ito, Chairman. Or another trade in the very near future. That's why I expect Monzon na Joshua to really make his presence felt. Para naman kay Kevin, it's a big turnaround from the years that he was playing for Ginebra. Naghiwalay na rin sa ni Coach Pido, sayang. Pero since gusto nila si Joshua, I'm sure ayaw naman pakawalan ni Coach Pido si Kevin, but baka siya ang hiningi ng Terra Firma. So they have to give it. Ganyan talaga ang buhay sa PBA.
Maganda yung binanggit mo. Ito kaya ang final destination o ito ay isang layover lamang? Same issue, Homer. Ano ang assessment mo sa naging trade ng Terra Firma kay Monzon para kay Ferrer ng Northport? 1 minute, Homer. Go!
It's a very terrific team for Monzon, Commissioner. From the darkness of Terra Firma, now he goes into the light of Northport. Ang maganda dito, like Abak had mentioned, is ito kasing Northport, based on history, we're not assuming anything here. Parang waiting area lang for great players to eventually land and take a flight toward Ginebra and toward San Miguel. More so, especially that I have heard from my sources yesterday, that San Miguel at some point is going to get rid of Marcio Lassiter, Chris Ross, and then Terence Romeo. That would pave the way for an opening for Joshua Monson. Like San Miguel won't miss a beat. And then, insofar as Kevin Ferrer is concerned, I hope he has a good doctor that could give him some antidepressant, because the day is going to be dark at Terra Firma, Commissioner. This is a franchise that has not shown any willingness to win. It has a very hearty appetite to give up its number 1 picks. So, ito lang, kawawa si Kevin Ferrer. But like I said, the business of basketball, you go where you're told, and yun ang nangyari. But I'm so happy for Joshua Monson. There is now a chance for us to really see that talent flourish in a real basketball team, not a high school team.
I've seen Joshua Monson. I've seen Joshua Monson since his days in 3x3, and I believe in his talent. Pambihirang player ito, and languishing with Terra Firma is something that you don't want to see for a star like Joshua Monson. So I agree with the two of you. This is a great opportunity for the player. Si Kevin Ferrer is close to me because ang kanyang father-in-law, si Efren Belarmino, is a good friend of mine. So I know Kevin and I know the family of his wife. So, I wish him all the best. But what I don't like about this trade is that, one, definitely this is not going to be the last stop of Joshua Monson. Two, Terra Firma has no business being in the PBA. I really don't think that this is a team that wants to win. This is a team that simply is being used as a conduit, and it's not good for the PBA. Hindi natin pwedeng sisihin ang mga teams na gusto manalo. That is their business. If they want to get Joshua Monson, that is their business. The important thing here is for the PBA to make sure that all teams want to win. And that'll do it for this fast take. May sasabihin ka, Homer? Dagdag lang.
No. Yes. The problem, the trade in itself was an insult to the intelligence of every living, breathing, walking PBA fan, because they're trying to sell na maganda. How are you supposed to, not in this green earth, am I going to believe that a 27-year-old rising star, I'm not saying Kevin Ferrer is not a star, but he's in the sunset of his career almost. And then last season nga, Commissioner was averaging 6.1 points per game. And then you have Monzon. We saw him play the 3x3. We saw him play even score. So the PBA is trying to suffocate us and tell us na this is a fair trade. We are going to revise this. But ang problema dito, by the same token that we cannot blame the PBA teams for trying to get better and trying to pry Monson, we cannot also blame the Terra Firma, because the PBA continues to allow them to do this because they see a very gullible, a very weak commissioner that doesn't seem to have the backbone to enforce the parity. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, Commissioner, it's just...
No, I know, I agree with you. I totally agree.
It's just, we've all been to a school, di ba? Who does the bully? Yung mga hindi lumalaban, they see the weakest link. And then when you go there, makita ng Terra Firma, si Commissioner, okay to. We have given 4 number weeks para, so gawin muna natin. I'm not saying this to flatter you, Commissioner, or any other commissioners, but under your watch, this would never happen.
Well, it's hard to say all of these things, but alam natin, naintindihan natin, and we respect all of these things that are happening. I just hope that there will be more thinking and more political will that will be exercised, hindi lamang by the commissioner's office, but by the board itself. Kasi nakikita nila to right under their noses what is happening, and I think they have to say that we have to think league before thinking team.
Correct.
Homer, Abak,
yes,
as usual, thank you so much for joining me. May I go out na talaga? Abak, good to see you. Homer, all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good show.
Enjoy your day.
Have a good rest of the show.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mga kaibigan, ang napakainit na fast take with Abak Cordero and of course, the ever outspoken Homer Saison. Maraming salamat, gentlemen. Naku, talagang may I go out na talaga. Alright, bago tayo po mag-break, konting paalala mula, pampalamig ng konti mula sa ating mga kaibigan from Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart! Naku, talaga pong kailangan natin mag-break sa amin pong pagbabalik. Ang ating pong makakausap, ang kareretiro lamang na Azkals Team Captain, Stephan Schrock. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go, at ng True Religion mula sa Baguio City.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to Go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Magbabalik sa ilang sandali ang programang hindi nyo mabitawan sa 92.3 News FM, Radyo 5.
Ito ang pagtutuos na hindi mo dapat palagpasin. Sino ang makakasungkit ng kampyonato? Ang Barangay Ginebra San Miguel na ba ang uupo sa trono?
Malonzo with the flush!
O ang Bay Area Dragons na ang mag-uwi ng championship title this season?
Takes the 3, drops to the basket. Nice fake, basket easy!
And another basket inside the paint for Bay Area Dragons.
Tutukan na makapigil hiningang salpukan sa PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday sa TV5 at One Sports.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Your favorite NBA is back. Catch the thrilling season of the NBA every Monday and Friday on One Sports and every Saturday and Sunday on TV5. Always a fan of the NBA.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Bigatin! Best friend natin ang mas isuot para ligtas. Ingatan ang kamay maghugas bago pumasok sa class. Sa pila wag dikit-dikit, dumistansya para iwas sakit. Laging open ang window para maganda ang airflow. Ikaw at ako ang bitikit, sa COVID di pa dadaig. Sa ligtas na pagbabalik, sama-sama maging bitikit.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Tutukan gabi-gabi ang malalimang pagsisiyasat ng mga napapanahong balita. Hihimayin ang iba't ibang anggulo para sa mas malawak na diskusyon at impormasyon. Samahan sina Ed Lingao at Mian Los Baños mula sa Frontline tonight, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 10:35 p.m. sa TV5.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Nangunguna sa balita at impormasyon, tulong at inspirasyon. Ito ang bago at totoong tunog ng serbisyo publiko para sa bawat Pilipino. Mas pinalakas, mas pinalawak na AM sa FM 92.3 News FM Radyo 5. Radyo 5. Balik tayo sa programang inaabangan nyo sa 92.3 News FM Radyo 5. Kami ang bagong tunog ng serbisyo publiko.
Power and Play Team na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
And welcome back to Power and Play live from Baguio City. At shoutout nga pala sa lahat po ng mga nagdidiwang ng kanilang birthday ngayong araw na to. Lalong-lalo na kay Vanessa Joso ng TOC ng ng TV5. Happy birthday to everyone. Happy anniversary, of course, also belated to my brother Jovi and my sister-in-law si Ate Lot, and of course sa aking ina na rin at ang yumaong ama. Pareho pong happy anniversary. Hello also to my bayaw, si Ancho Mohe, na kararating lang po galing ng Calgary, Canada. Kaya naman sana nag-enjoy ka dito sa bakasyon sa Baguio City. Alright mga kapatid, dami pa natin gustong batiin. Uy, binabati ko rin si Rafi Catan, yung aking po naging driver sa Philippine Sports Commission, and all of my colleagues at the PSC. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Si Danny Go and of course Ma'am Tina Tan. Yan, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Alright, at this point mga kaibigan, I had the chance to sit down with a guy who just retired. Siya po ay nagdesisyon ng iwan ang football for a quieter life and hopefully for a life that will change in terms of his career. Siya po naging kapitan ng Azkals. Back in 2019, he gave a championship to his local team, ang Ceres United City, 4 consecutive championships in the PFL. Of course, he is the midfielder ng Azkals and of course, one of the best players that ever played for the Philippine national team. Ito ang aking pong panayam with Azkals captain Stephan Schrock. And of course, kasama na po natin ang Azkals captain, no other than Stephan Schrock. Stephan, thank you so much for joining us today on Power and Play.
Good evening, boss. Thank you for having me.
I've been trying to get you. I really, I'm a big fan, and I've been wanting to talk to you. Of course, you've been on holidays. Are you enjoying this time with your family now, Stephan?
Yes, of course. After missing Christmas and New Year, and also my daughter's first birthday, I kind of had to make up to my family, so we went on a short trip to Bohol.
Excellent, and it's always good to spend, quality time with the family. Talking about quality, it's not the best way to end, I guess, a career. Some analysts have described the performance of the Azkals as underwhelming. That's what they said. No, Stephan, you ended, of course, the Mitsubishi Electric Cup, the AFF Cup, missing the semifinals for the third time in 4 years. What do you think happened? What were the reasons for this, Stephan?
First and foremost, there's many people call themselves experts. Only a few are actually deserving the title. If you would follow what was announced and what was communicated to the public, was that the Philippine Azkals are in transition, and in transition meaning that we have to fill in the gap with younger players, with less experienced players in the international stage, but with a lot of quality and talent. And therefore this tournament was chosen to kick off a new era of the Azkals. Obviously, in inner circles and those who follow the league and follow the national team daily or weekly, they would know that we would have troubles getting results and getting into the semifinals, obviously, because beside me and Amani Aguinaldo, I think barely someone reached 5 national team games for the Azkals. So therefore, it was good to see the young players, giving them stage, giving them playing time in a very, very tough environment. And from there on, we take it on for the next year.
So you're telling me, obviously you're telling me about the Azkals giving exposure to a lot of the young players who are both in the local clubs and or on the youth teams. You're talking about guys like Kenshiro Daniels, Sebastian Rasmussen, Sandro Reyes, and so many other guys. Do you think that this was a gamble or this was an investment?
That was definitely an investment into the future. We have a lot of mixed blood players or players that grew up abroad, and those are not always available, especially for AFF tournaments like this Suzuki Cup or this Mitsubishi Electric Cup, what it's called now. And it's quite difficult to get everyone in if it's not a FIFA window. And therefore, it was good to give up the stage to younger players, to players who performed well in the local league. So just to get a feeling of the pressure that will wait for them when you have to step up your game. And with the preparation time we had and with everything that happened during the league and during the year, we can be okay with the performance in the last game. Obviously, the results weren't there, but you have to analyze games differently. It's not always about the result only, it's also about the performance and the progress that was made during the campaign.
All right. So, you had losses against Thailand and, of course, against Indonesia. You gave up about 10 goals in the AFF. Are you telling me that, this is just part of all, the growing up and the, getting the team, this new team to gain experience? In other words, I don't think you're very disappointed, right, Stephan?
No, it was, like I said, if you really follow and then what was announced and communicated with the public, it is a transition stage, and we kind of expected that it will be a rocky and rough road. The only thing that was unexpected was the first game, the loss against Cambodia. We all thought this gonna play out differently in favor for us. Obviously, then when you play away in Thailand, there's not much to get with the quality in the pool that Thailand has. Even though they missed 2 of their main or key players, they weren't available. But if you have a league with 20 teams, then you can pick and choose quite nicely as a head coach. And therefore, the game against Indonesia went okay. We slept twice at set pieces and we got punished for that. But the performance itself was really promising, and what the young boys, especially the young boys, delivered was really something to look forward to into the future.
Looking forward, Stephan, when you talk about the Azkals, and you've been there for a very long time, circa 2014, and all of these years, the many international games that you've played, what do you think can be improved? What can we do for the Azkals, just so that we can continue to build on what you and the others have already laid out in the past?
Well, you have to. Philippines is quite special. The Azkals is quite special. If you bring in everyone from abroad, and these are FIFA window tournaments, then I think everyone in Asia will have troubles beating us. But in order to get everyone in, you have to plan really detailed. You have to have a lot of commitment from the players abroad, because those players earn millions in their countries and in their leagues, and it's quite difficult to convince the clubs to let the players leave for, let's say, a friendly game against Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or something like that. So it's quite difficult to get everyone in. So therefore, you have to build a local league, the local base players, and this will take time. But we done the right things in the past 2 months, and if we keep continuing that path, it might be rocky, but it will be worthy in the end of the day.
I'm pretty sure it will be, and sometimes as they say in sports, no pain, no gain, and you certainly have to go through the ringer. Stephan, I have to go now to your retirement as a player for the Azkals. You have played your final international game in the Mitsubishi Electric Cup, and obviously a lot of your fans are not only a little bit sad, but also saying where will we see now, Stephan? But let me ask you first, what made you decide to finally hang up your boots?
Well, I'm 36 now. I play 11 years now for the Azkals, with shorter breaks, with longer breaks, but overall it's 11 years, it's 60 camps. You can imagine how many times I was not there and not at home or missed out birthdays. I mentioned it in my last press conference. I moved my own wedding, I skipped honeymoon in order to make myself available for the Azkals. I jeopardized €1 million contracts back in Europe just to come out and represent the country. So it's time for me also to step aside and give the next generation a go at it. And I think I've done my part as a player, but I definitely will be involved in the future in Philippines football.
But it's nothing to do with your physical makeup. It's got nothing to do with any injuries, Stephan?
Oh, well, you would be quite surprised. I'm probably now double the age and average of the team, and I'm still finishing games in top 2, top 3.
I know.
Distance, and I look after myself, or I looked after myself in order to always perform at least at a physical high level, and but like I said, it's time for me to try to help in another direction and in another way, and also with the guys that coming up, it's quite difficult if I stay on to remove me from the squad, so I step down rather than getting dragged out.
How difficult was that decision? I mean, who did you consult with? Was it something that was unanimous in your family, or were there people saying, no, you still gotta play? How difficult was that?
It's to the build up to the tournament. I told my wife and my kids this is going to be my last time, so it would be nice if they come out every game. And with my mom, obviously, I talk a lot. I have a very, very small circle that I listen to and take advice from. And when I spoke to my mother, she was happy that I was able to perform 11 years for the country, and she would understand that it's time for me to move on and go new avenues, try new pathways to help Philippines football. And so it was quite unanimous, I have to say, and everyone was welcoming this decision.
Terrific. Well, it's always good to have the support of the people that really matter. And in this case, I think your family was right behind you. How would you describe your journey with the Azkals, Stephan?
Unique. As you know, I grew up in Germany, and I come from a really professional football environment, which is quite strict and tough, and has a lot of benefits as well. But coming over to the Philippines made me realize that you can also have a different approach to the game, and still, once the whistle is blown, that you can, or did you have to deliver, and that you have to perform well for the country, for the people, and regardless of the circumstances, you always have to give it your best and play your heart out. And I learned that quite quick. I was thrown into a batch with Ali Borromeo, with Anton Del Rosario, Phil and James Young Husband. Obviously, these guys played a couple of years ahead of me, and with them being the role model in the team, you learn quite quick that regardless if the bus was late or if jerseys weren't sorted or stuff like that, you have to deliver. And I took that into my last part of the career as well, and try to pass it to the younger generation, that this is really something you should be very proud of, and a very humble approach to the national team is required if you put on a jersey.
And of course, you also had some of the best moments of your career in our leagues in the PFL and with Ceres and with United City. You won 4 consecutive championships, of course, in the PFL from 2017 until pre-pandemic, and you won the Golden Ball Award back in the 2019-2020 season. How was that for you? And how does that rank in your career? Even with all the things that you've done, all the experiences that you had, including your games way back in Europe.
Yeah, well, winning championships and trophies is always nice. I was able in my career, I had a really humble upbringing, I have to say, and I was never dreaming of receiving trophies, individual awards, and representing the country. So when I look back now, winning championships in Europe, winning championships in the Philippines, in Asia, in a regional season, is very, very, very make me very grateful for the sport, for the people that supported me throughout the years, and especially the Ceres time in the Philippines was really a nice time with Boss Alaway, who was supporting us really, really great, and had a great vision of what he wants to achieve with his football club. And I wish everyone that's coming after me that they also get a taste of these fine things in the football end, and hopefully I inspired a couple of people to go the same pathway.
I think it's more than a couple of people, Stephan, and I'm sure a lot of the young Filipino footballers are obviously looking at you and your career and what you have done for Philippine football. And there's so many things that you can look back to, but when you look, when you try to think about it, Stephan, what do you have a particularly most memorable moment that you spent maybe with the Azkals or with Ceres or with United City?
When I look back, what always comes first in my mind was my first goal for the country against Kuwait in the second leg. It was a packed Rizal Memorial Stadium in 2012, and my mother was there at my first home game. So I remember I had really big troubles to my club convincing me to fly out, because we lost the first game 3-0, and my club was kind of like, oh, we play on Saturday again, you play Tuesday in the Philippines, it's 20 hours back and forth, I don't know, you can make it. And I convinced the club to let me go. I promised them to not come back jet-lagged and injured and will not complain about anything. And it was worth it. I scored, and I will always cherish this moment and carry it close to my heart.
Oh yes, everybody remembers that. And obviously it's It's something that will always be stamped in the annals of Philippine football. In terms of, you've played with some of the best players, and you mentioned a lot of those names, Ali Borromeo and the young husbands and everyone else. But, when you look at the teammates that you've had, do you have a particularly favorite one that you played with?
From the Philippine Azkals, I have to say I really liked the leadership of Rob Gear when he was the captain of the team. He was not the best football player, I have to say. Forgive me, Rob. Forgive me when you start. He was a great leader, a great inspiration for everyone. His speech is always on point, and he will always point out the importance of wearing the national team jersey, regardless if it's a friendly or international competition. So he was always on point. He was always very clear to the players, and I'd liked him a lot. Beside that, obviously Phil was a great teammate, great goal scorer. Neil Etheridge, fantastic that we kind of grew up together in these 11 years. He was just a young kid when he joined, with a lot of fun, I'd say, not so much professionalism and seriousness towards the game. But now when I look at him, he's a man, he's a real character, and we're so happy for him that he's doing so well over in Europe.
Those are really good names, and everybody, of course, feels the kind of brotherhood that the Azkals had, and you guys showed it on the pitch. You were not without any controversy, of course, in your career, and one of them, of course, was back in the day when you actually retired for the first time from the Azkals. Back in 2014, I believe it. At a time when you were actually having some protests. But would you say that in your time with the Philippine football has progressed? Do you think did you see that from the time you stepped for the first time to play here until now, that somehow you've done your part and Philippine football has grown?
Oh, that's maybe for others to judge on. Like I said, we have many experts that could elaborate on that topic. But for me, it was important to showcase that someone grew up abroad, can feel the same love and connection to the country, and the pride that I would carry into the pitch wearing the national team jersey. That was for me important to transport that fun and that great love to the sport, and trying to inspire some of the other people watching, people playing with me, my teammates, the stuff around me. And in regards to the controversy, I'm quite simple. I defend my corner regardless who it is, and if I look back, I'm not regretting it. I would have done things differently probably, but if you ask me, if I regret it, I probably would say no.
Maybe I'll ask you another thing about being regretful. You started your pro career in Germany, and of course, as you said, you won championships in Europe, in Bundesliga, of course, and then you decided to play for your mother's homeland, motherland, just the Philippines.
Yeah.
Any regrets, Stephan? Did you ever regret making that decision?
No, it's tough. It's tough coming over and pushing things towards more professional, to more fan engagement. It's tough, but I consciously took that decision because we have many great players playing abroad, and I wish them luck, and hopefully they continue to play a long time there and carry the flag over in whatever country they are. But for me, it was I thought I had an impact on the football scene, and what does it do for the people if I not stepped in the pitch in my mother country and trying to raise the game here? If everyone sees I do well in Japan or in Thailand or in Europe or elsewhere, people should see he's coming over, he's trying to raise the bar for everyone else, which I did, and therefore I never regret it, and I'm forever grateful that my mother and my family was behind that decision and pushed it towards it.
No, very, very quickly, I read somewhere that you even tried boxing before. Did you ever? Did you ever think of what could have been if you continued with that path?
Yeah, my dad was actually a professional boxer. So looking
I know,
now at Manny Pacquiao, I probably would have the same weight class as him. No, football was the better path for me. I was too soft for boxing.
Absolutely. Well, Stephan, I've read that you're thinking about your options now. So I guess let me get it from the horse's mouth. What's next for you? Is coaching? Are clinics coming up? What's up with Stephan Schrock?
I was this year involved in the Azkals development team, which is trying to build a core team for whatever youth national team is coming up. So, like I said, that we don't rely on the fate of the club or let the players leave from their respective clubs and countries to join the national team. I enjoy the coaching end, and I will step now full time into the coaching team for the Azkals development team. Planning, or we have set up the Azkals Development Academy, which supposed to help the younger youth national teams or groups age to identify quicker talents and bring them into the pool. Other than that, obviously my great goal or my long-term vision is to be the head coach of the national team. I'm working towards it, and I'm quite sure it will happen as soon as I finish my coaching courses.
My goodness, that'll be the day, and I think everyone will certainly. Yan po mga kaibigan ng ating panayam kay Stephan Schrock, ang dating captain ng Philippine Azkals, and of course ang kanyang mga plano, ang kanyang balik-tanaw sa kanyang naging career dito po sa Pilipinas. So just an incredible person. He speaks his mind off. Yan ang gusto ko sa tao, yung prangkahan, and he certainly will be missed by Philippine football. Saludo ako sa iyo, Stephan Schrock. Alright, bago tayo mag-break, isa muna pong pagtingin sa pop culture at viral videos sa mundo ng sports sa Stop and Pop.
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala.
Ang titulo po nitong video ito, and mind you, I haven't even seen this, nakita ko lang po yung ating dito, is Underwater Tennis Court. Panoorin po natin ito, Makakapag-focus ka ba kapag lumalangoy ang pating sa ilalim habang naglalaro ka ng tennis court? Makikita nyo to. Katulad itong yung batang pong ito, nilaroan ng dalawang player na to. Akalain mong underwater court, pero kapag sinilip yung mabuti, projector lang pala yan. Yan ang tinatawag na effect lang. Mas maganda siguro kung may magtatayo talaga ng underwater court para talagang extreme ang tennis sa ilalim ng tubig. At yan po ang ating viral video sa Stop and Pop. When we come back, hihimayin po natin ang Game 7 ng Commissioner's Cup Finals kasama nila Coach Ryan and Alan Gregorio. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go, at ng True Religion live from Baguio City.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai Stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Ang gusto ko yung easy, kaya good thing ang Smart may Gigabase sa GigaLife app.
Magbabalik sa ilang sandali ang programang hindi nyo mabitawan sa 92.3 News FM, Radyo 5.
Isang matinding pagsalubong para sa 2023.
Flatline Giorgio Petrosian to capture the Featherweight Kickboxing World Championship.
One Featherweight Kickboxing World Champion Superbond Singamawin.
He has done it. The dream comes true.
Ipagtatanggol ang titulo laban kay One Featherweight Kickboxing World Grand Prix Champion Genghis Alizam. One Fight Night 6, Saturday, January 14, 10 a.m. live sa One Sports.
Dahil hindi kasya ang isang oras, ang Power Play ay 2 oras na. Tunghayan ang lahat ng news and updates sa Philippine Sports kasama ang iba't ibang pangalan sa palakasan. Power and Play kasama niyo ako, Noli Iyala, tuwing Sabado mula alas 8 hanggang alas 10 na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Tutukan gabi-gabi ang malalimang pagsisiyasat ng mga napapanahong balita. Hihimayin ang iba't ibang anggulo para sa mas malawak na diskusyon at impormasyon. Samahan sina Ed Lingao at Mian Los Baños mula sa Frontline tonight, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 10:35 p.m. sa TV5.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Bida! Bigatin! B for best friend, ang mask. I for ingatan, ang kamay. D for distansya, sa katabi. A for airflow, ligtas tayo. 3 B's ay laging tandaan. Bakuna, bayanihan. Bidakit, kaya mo yan. Halina't magtulungan. Ikaw at ako ang bidakit. Sa COVID di ba dadaig? Sa ligtas na pagbabalik. Sama-sama maging bidakit.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Na-miss mo ba ang game kagabi? Gusto mo bang malaman ang latest happening sa sports? Like and follow us on social media. Pwede mo nang balik-balikan ang mga paborito mong games anytime, kahit saan. At pwede mo nang i-share sa tropa. Dito lang tayo sa nag-iisang go-to tambayan ng lahat at One Sports PHL on social media.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Mas pinalawak, mas pinalakas, mas pakikinggan sa buong Pilipinas. By land, by sea, and on air. Broadcasting live from the studios of Radyo 5 in Mega Manila. 25,000 watts ng balita, impormasyon, opinyon, inspirasyon para sa bawat Pilipino. 92.3 News FM, Radyo 5, Radyo 5. Ito ang totoong tunog ng serbisyo publiko. Balik tayo sa programang inaabangan nyo sa 92.3 News FM, Radyo 5. Kami ang bagong tunog ng serbisyo publiko.
Power and Play, team na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
At nagbabalik po ang Power Play mula sa Baguio City. Alam po natin ang mainit na pinag-uusapan ngayon ng lahat ng tao, lalo na mga basketball fans, ay ang Game 7 na gaganapin bukas sa Philippine Arena between the Barangay Ginebra Kings, ang hometown team kontra sa mga visitors o guest team na Bay Area Dragons. And let's get straight to the discussion kung anong pwedeng mangyari sa game number 7. Makakasama po natin ngayon, dalawa ko pong paboritong PBA analysts, and of course, they are like family to me. Walang iba kundi ang mga Gregorios, Coach Ryan and Coach Alan Gregorio. Magandang umaga, brothers. Thank you for joining us sa Power and Play.
Magandang umaga, Commissioner Noli, and magandang umaga sa aking pinakapoging kapatid na si Coach Alan.
Noli, kami naman greetings from Quezon City lang, no? Ikaw napakaganda ng iyong lugar for the moment, nakakainggit.
Naku naman, talagang pagkakasama ko ganyan mga kasing gagwapo, talagang kailangan maganda ang tanawin. At saka kailangan lamig lang. But hindi pwedeng maging malamig ang Game 7. Alam natin kung gaano kainit ito. Winner take all, wala nang bukas. So let me begin. Very general question. Coach Ryan, was there any doubt na aabot ng Game 7 itong finals na to?
I was not surprised, to be honest, Commissioner Noli. Napakaganda ng seryeng ito. In fact, bumalik ang sigla ng PBA, and congratulations to Commissioner Willie Marshall and the Board of Governors for thinking of innovative ways just to add more spice dito sa ating pinakamamahal na liga. And I am very confident na dadagsain ng maraming tao ang Philippine Arena. Napakaganda ng turnout in the first 6 games. At parang teleserye ang nangyayari. Hindi mo alam kung ano ang magiging resulta. And I am sure yung dalawang kupunan maglalaban, magpe-prepare ng husto. They've had ample time to really solidify their game plan on the defensive end and also offensive end just to win Game 7 and take home the crown.
Tsaka iba yung finals na to, iba yung narrative niya. Hindi lamang basketball, diba? Parang naging national team versus China. Parang naging kontrabida, ganun ang Pero, Coach Alan, bakit pantay na pantay itong series ito? Game 6, tabla tayo, 3-3. Up to Game 7, bakit sobrang pantay itong series ito?
Well, I think it's about the game adjustments that are being done by both coaches, no? So, yeah, Ryan talked about it. In offense, whoever wins that game, then you will see a lot of defensive adjustments coming from the opposing team. And that is something that we have really seen here in this series. Well, not just the coaches, but also on the defensive end, a lot of players really focusing on the individual tendencies of the other players. So even the crowd, actually may kita mo na appreciate nila, no? They really appreciate the kind of basketball and adjustments that are being made here in this series.
Talagang grandmasters ang mga naglalaban, lalong-lalo na from the benches. Coach Ryan, Ginebra had 2 chances. Ako, feeling ko, I was following the series, 2 chances to put this series away. Game 4, nung bumaksak si Nicholson in Game 3, wala silang import. I thought they had a chance na ibaon na itong Bay Area. And then Game 6, of course, kung saan pinasok si Powell, and I thought Ginebra had the momentum after that victory in Game 5. And yet, nakabalik pa rin itong Bay Area. What does it say about the Dragons, Coach Ryan?
Incredible resiliency. Tama yung nabanggit mo. In Game 4, they were playing with an all-local lineup. Wala si Nicholson, and all of a sudden, Kobe Lam exploded for 30 points. But Kobe has been playing so well even against the San Miguel series, wherein he was averaging over 18 points per ball game. So he should have been defended well by Barangay Ginebra. Probably a little complacency because they can beat the Bay Area Dragons with a full roster. So nung nawala yung kanilang 6'10 import na makakalaban, akala nila they can just be present and they're gonna win the game. But iba kasi yung pinapakita, talagang tapang at galing. And of course, you have to give credit dun sa coaching genius ni Coach Brian Gurgen. He's just an exceptional basketball mind and he knows exactly the right buttons to press. Nung Game 6, 9 minutes to go, Barangay Ginebra was in full control, up by 7 points. Then all of a sudden, Miles Powell took over. You have to understand and appreciate exactly the work rendered by Miles Powell. The last time he played, Commissioner Nolly and Coach Alan, you know this, was way back in November 23. He was not playing basketball at all, meaning 5-on-5 match fitness was in question. But when the ball was rolled, he was there to play. 12 points in the fourth quarter. That speaks volumes of the kind of desire and his brotherhood. Yun ang sinasabi niya. I came in against doctor's orders because I wanted to be with my brothers competing against Barangay Ginebra.
Grabe yun. Grabe yung kind of moral boost para sa isang koponan yan. And of course, the length of time that they've stayed together, almost 8 months now, I think that also speaks highly of the kind of team that has been built by the Bay Area Dragons. Pero of course, Coach Alan, Ginebra has been in this situation before, lalo-lalo na sa Philippine Arena. We know the record crowd that they brought in against Meralco back in 2017. Gaano kalaking advantage yan as we move to tomorrow's game?
Well, definitely yung 6-man advantage no ng Ginebra every time they play, not just against Bay Area, but all the other PBA teams, talagang inaabangan no ng kanilang koponan yan. Every time they win, there is a very specific thank you going to the crowd. And si Kabayan Justin Brownlee also said that plenty of times. No? If not for the crowd, it would have been really difficult for us to win the ball game. They were down a lot of times in the game, but when the crowd sets in, that is where talagang nagkakaroon ng momentum shift ang koponan ng Barangay Ginebra.
Sinabi ko nga kanina that ito parang ang narrative dito, hindi lamang a regular championship dahil guest team talaga itong Bay Area. And it has become parang a superstar against a villain, yung kontrabida. But in this case, gentlemen, sino ang may mas malaki ang pressure dito? Because alam naman natin, pagka ikaw bida, ang pressure ikaw dapat manalo, di ba? Pag ikaw kontrabida, okay lang na matalo ka, at saka okay lang na magmukha yung mukhang bad boy ka. So, who has the greater pressure, Coach Ryan? I'll begin with you.
Barangay Ginebra, obviously, they're playing in front of our home crowd. I expect no less than 50,000 watching in Philippine Arena, and probably 49,200 will be cheering for Barangay Ginebra. So that is actually the ratio there. So there's so much pressure for Barangay Ginebra to deliver. That's never say die attitude. It is not just a suggestion. That is what Barangay Ginebra is really known for. And a lot of players must also step up. From a basketball standpoint and a technical standpoint, it is imperative for Barangay Ginebra to step on the white line and defend the three-point shot of the Bay Area Dragons. And I see this with so much conviction. 51 out of the 87 total points of Bay Area Dragons in Game 6 were from downtown. So that means that is 58% of their production. Barangay Ginebra must know how to defend the three and make Bay Area Dragons to be just a two-point shooting team. And that will elevate or increase their chances of winning. And the other thing is Jamie Malonzo, another guy who has not been playing well offensively in this series. He was the most consistent scorer for Barangay Ginebra in the elimination round and also in the early part of the playoffs. But so far, only 6.5 points per ball game. He must step up. He must show up in Game 7 para lang maganda yung chance ng Ginebra. Pati ako, Commissioner Nolly, and you know this, and I'm not shy saying this. For the first time, I'm rooting for Barangay Ginebra.
Who is it? Lahat ng Pinoy yata is rooting. But again, tama yan. Sinabi nga ni Coach Ryan na Coach Alan, ang laki ng pressure sa Ginebra. Pero do you see also that pressure on the part ng Bay Area? May nakikita ka bang they will cave in dahil dito sa pressure na to?
Yeah, definitely. No? Kasi sabi nga nila, this is going to be the first time. Actually, si Coach Brian said, this is the first time that he's going to be coaching in a Game 7. So that's really going to be a lot of pressure on him. And number two, these youngsters have not played in a venue filled with about 60,000 people. So yung game number 1 pa lang, nakita natin na talagang, di ba, every time na naririnig nila yung Ginebra chant, talagang naninigas talaga sila sa hindi nila alam kung anong gagawin, lalo na kapag yung momentum nanggagaling sa Barangay Ginebra.
Oh. Well, let's talk a little bit about the personalities here. Sabi ni Justin Brownlee, it is harder to play Bay Area with Miles Powell. Ryan, bakit?
Because he can do a lot of things. He is not just a scorer. you know that he is automatic. Meaning, when you give him that rock, even in transition, even in a half-court set, he can set the offense for their team. He can actually find ways to score. And when the defense gets sucked in, every time he penetrates, he is just a willing passer. So that ping, ping, ping movement, meaning the extra pass, finding the open man, getting in rhythm to shoot that three, available always for the Bay Area Dragons, specifically Hayden Blankley. Such an exceptional basketball athlete, especially towards the end of this finals round. Kobe Lam has been consistent. Yang has been shooting well from the outside, even Zhu Songwei. So why is it very hard? Because they are very unpredictable. They are faster in terms of their speed. They can shoot in transition even from the three-point area. They are hard to guard because there is no one man who can just post up and set the defense of Barangay Ginebra. So the unpredictability factor is the main reason why Powell is 9-0 so far in his PBA career, because he is simply unguardable and hard to stop.
Let's go to, on the other hand, sinasabi ng Bay Area, especially Blankley, he admitted that Justin Brownlee is the toughest that he's ever defended. Coach Alan, why, on the other hand, is that going to be a big problem para sa Bay Area?
Well, we saw it in game number 5. They tried to double on JB, and that is exactly the reason why all of a sudden Stanley Pringle gave an A game, taking a lot of open three-point shots, and that was definitely that was something that Coach Tim Cohn was very ready with. So he knows his teammates. He knows what kind of basketball he's going to be playing here in the Philippines. Every time he's posting up, there is a mismatch. Every time he's taking three-point shots, you know that it's a very, very high percentage kind of a shot. And whatever kind of defense that the Bay Area will put against Kabayan Justin Brownlee, he knows kung paano siya ka-counter doon sa mga depensa na yun, from knowledge.
Binanggit na kanina ni Coach Ryan, and I'll stay with you, Coach Alan, yung keys for Ginebra for him. Ano ang keys para sa'yo for Ginebra to win this Game 7?
Well, number one, we talked about how you're going to be defending against Miles Powell. You know, I already renamed him as Miles Power. You know, he is just so unpredictable. You know, dapat yan, yung ganung injury, hindi na makakalaro yun. That's a lot of pain. Yung weight niya, dinadala nung kanyang left foot injury, but still he's playing. You know, he's playing like you're looking at Steph Curry. No, how do you stop him? How do you defend against a guy like him? Is, of course, what number one on the list of Coach Tim Cohn. And number two, you talk about two guys, maybe Zhu Songwei and Hayden Blankley.
So you're talking about defense. Coach Ryan, ikaw naman, what is the keys for Bay Area to win Game 7?
If they shoot well from the outside, it will be very hard to stop them because they play with a very, very good pace. They can penetrate. A lot of guys can also go inside and just score on a higher percentage. So what do you defend? What do you give up? You have to pick your poison. As far as Barangay Ginebra is concerned, they're not going to give up that three-pointer because that was 17 threes made by Bay Area Dragons, and they were able to control the tempo of the ball game simply because of their impeccable shooting from the outside. They shoot a two-point shot, Barangay Ginebra, and the counter is a three-point shot. So you do your math. Napakadali na makalamang itong Bay Area Dragons. They led by as much as 12 points in that game. They lost it in the fourth quarter. Barangay Ginebra was able to turn it around, leading by 7 points, as what I've mentioned earlier. But again, the three-point shooting of Miles Powell and even Hayden Blankley were exactly the reasons why they were able to bounce back and secure Game 6 victory. And that is why we're playing in a Game 7.
All right. You know, there was a postponement. Ang Game 7 was supposed to be played yesterday, Friday, in the original schedule ng PBA. Coach Alan, who benefited from this?
The PBA.
Good answer.
Well, number one, you know, the preparation, really getting tickets for just less than 24 hours would have been really terrible for our basketball fans. Number two, logistics. It's something that we have to talk about. No, we want the best possible kind of an arrangement for our fans to be able to watch that game in the Philippine Arena. And we know that there are so many things that had to be considered. Yung distribution ng tickets, yung ating preparation for traffic, and of course, yung pahinga rin ng mga players going to game number 7. You would want to see them really fresh and with a lot of game and mental preparations going to a very, very tough situation in a game like that on Sunday.
And of course, kagaya na sinabi ko kanina kila Abak at kay Homer, it's always good to have everyone in full strength in a Game 7. Ayaw natin yung merong excuses na pagod, may konting injury. We just want a great game on Game 7, and I think that will really help both teams. Coach Alan, you are Coach Ryan, you are a student of the game. Alam ko yan, kayong dalawa. Kahit si Brother Pato is a student of the game sa mga Gregorio, the kind of family. But, when you look at this series, it's been two grandmasters, super grandmasters on the bench. Gorjan, Cone, naglalaban. Coach Ryan, your learnings from these two great coaches in this series alone?
Adjustments. And what is so obvious was the way Coach Tim Cone has been keeping in step. He always dictates the series, meaning he is always ahead. No team has lost back-to-back in this series. And Coach Tim won Game 1, Game 3, and Game 5. That means he always had an opportunity to close out the series, but the counter of Brian Gurjan. But what impressed me the most is, aside from the offensive concepts, aside from the way Coach Gurjan is playing mind games, even against the referees and all that, it's simply off the charts. But the way he positioned himself and he coached Game 5, he did not let Glenn Young play. He also did not give so many minutes to Zhu Songwei, only 16 minutes. Almost the bench in the entire second half. It is a concept wherein one step backward and two steps forward, because he wanted Game 6 with fresher legs. Glenn Young played 43 minutes in Game 6. Zhu Songwei also had an incredible amount of mileage, plus 14 in the minutes that he played, even if he turned the ball over 8 times. And with Miles Powell, he can utilize Duncan Reed and also big guy Chunzing, just for taller complement. So what you see is a grand master pitted against each other. Two great basketball minds, and it is just great basketball education for everyone.
Everyone is indeed learning. Of course, Brian Gurjan said that he is also learning from us. So it's just a terrific two-way street. And with that, Coach Alan, ang tanong is, should we bring back this format again? A foreign team playing in the Commissioner's Cup every season?
Yeah, definitely, Com. We have seen a lot of posts coming from our basketball fans, and a lot of them are really saying this has really helped the PBA in gaining a lot more interest, especially if you see that the series is a battle of great coaches like Coach Tim Cone and Coach Brian Gurjan. So my answer is, I wish, that we can do this kind of a conference format one more time.
Alam mo, I totally agree with you, Coach Alan, no? And I'm sure Coach Ryan shares that opinion. But ang akin lang kolatilya dyan, of course, is that it has to be at that level, itong level na ganitong klaseng foreign team. Because we've also seen foreign teams that have come here, and I have to admit, even during my time in the PBA, hindi masyadong high yung quality ng foreign team. So it has to be this kind of quality, including the coach that leads the pack. Don't you agree, Coach Ryan?
Oh, definitely agree, Commissioner Nolly, because it elevates our game. The way Filipinos play, sinasabi nila, we are just good domestically. But if we bring in teams and coaches who can increase the level of our performance and elevate the brand of game that we play, in the end, it will benefit the entire basketball industry in the Philippines. But also another thing is, if you are not prepared, Nolly, we saw this in this conference, you will be humiliated. You will be beaten by 30, 40, and 50. So it's imperative for every team in the PBA to also enhance their manpower complement. Palakasin ninyo yung team ninyo.
Correct.
Kaya welcome sa akin talaga ito, Commissioner Coach Alan. I share the same sentiments and I hope na ganito pa rin ka-creative yung mga nagpapatakbo ng PBA at ganito pa rin ka-open-minded yung mga tagapamahala ng ating liga.
Ito, so I guess I'm running out of time here. Ang dami nating gustong pag-usapan, but I want to ask this to end our discussion here, Coach Alan. Ang South China Post came out with an article covering the PBA finals. Can you imagine?
Wow.
The South China Post, Hong Kong, and covers the mainland China. So ang tanong, how can the PBA take advantage to grow their presence in the region na ngayon nakikita ng iba't ibang media outlets na the PBA is indeed the best platform for promoting basketball in the region? Coach Alan, I'll begin with you.
Well, when we started all of this, when we had Gilas, we were Gilas 1.0. We were traveling in all other countries, and we were promoting the Philippines, and we were promoting Philippine basketball. So here it is the other way around. We are promoting the PBA, not just the national team, and we are also promoting our culture. We are promoting sports tourism. The other day, there were 250,000 live fans coming from China, from Macau, and from Hong Kong. And we expect this to double in game number 7 because a lot of them are flying in tonight to be able to watch game number 7. And I know for a fact, because some of my friends from Bay Area Dragons are telling me they need tickets for their they are flying in, and some of them have already flew in last night to be able to witness game number 7.
Good luck sa kanila to get, if they can get their tickets. But Ryan, let me go. And I guess this is the final question. Again, the same thing. And I agree with Alan. This is just terrific. Can you imagine? May mga lumilipad to come in, over 300,000 watching us on live from outside the country. Yun nga ang tanong Ngayon na ganyan, and coupled with the fact that may mga umaalis na mga player. Again, hindi madami, but may mga umaalis na top-notch players from our leagues, no? How can we leverage this? Paano pa natin pwedeng i-take advantage ito na para talagang maging institutional na itong programang ito?
It's a great showcase for the PBA and also for our country. Outside of basketball, it's great in terms of basketball diplomacy. You know how disjointed our world is at this point, and basketball is one unifying factor not only among Filipinos but also among our neighboring countries. China, for example, Hong Kong, all these people are converging, coming into our country, focused on one thing, and that is basketball. And that is great in terms of just making sure that there is enough peace and love, and it is being propagated and united and glued by a sport named basketball. So that is one thing that we're not seeing, but we're feeling that will be one of the biggest effects of this kind of an initiative. But on the basketball standpoint, I say this again, we will just get better by being pitted against international talents. Sometimes greater than us will always be helpful for us because we are forced to elevate our ball game. That is what we're seeing. Great mind in Brian Gurgin, great basketball players in Miles Powell, Andrew Nicholson, legitimate NBA stars, and up-and-coming young players from China, Bay Area Dragons players like Zhu Zhongwei, Kobe Lam, and also Glenn Yang. These are the players that we need that will help Philippine basketball in the future. And again, the thing that we want to do at this point is root for Barangay Ginebra in Game 7. We are going to be united as Filipinos.
Well, this is a prelude, gentlemen, to FIBA World Cup, of course. And kung nakikita to ng FIBA, I'm sure they're saying we did not make a mistake in bringing the World Cup to Manila.
Yes.
Ryan,
yes.
Alan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It will be a great Game 7. I look forward to watching the two of you. And I hope to see you around, gentlemen. Maraming salamat, brothers. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Com.
Thank you.
Coach Alan.
Good luck.
Mga kaibigan natin, mga kapatid, sa hanap buhay at of course, para ko pang pamilya yan. Coach Ryan Gregorio, Coach Alan Gregorio, hinimay ang ating championship ng Game 7. Oh, wow. What a terrific, exciting Sunday we will have. Sana po, wag kayo. Kung wala kayong ticket, manood na lang kayo. Ang dami namin po. One Sports, TV5, Radyo 5, everywhere, ha? Mapapanood nyo po. Radyo Pilipinas din yata, pinapalabas na pinapa-broadcast na rin. Alright, talking about all of the support that we're getting, well, gusto ko rin pong magpasalamat sa lahat ng tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Kung wala sila, wala po ang inyong paboritong show tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Simulan ko na po sa Cherry Room, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid, sobrang init, tapos biglang uulan, dito malamig sa Baguio. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang, ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom, tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Thank you! Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro, how neat it is to have a 7-seater SUV that has a powerful engine, world-class safety standards, and the latest tech features. Bet you didn't know that the all-new Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro has all these features and more at a very affordable price range. Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro is equipped with a 1.6 turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine, an advanced driver assistance system, and 12 other safety features, including lane keeping assist, intelligent high beam control, and blind spot detection. The flagship Tiggo 8 Pro allows you more control of the wheel. What's great is you can also join the green revolution with Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or PHEV. So book a test drive now via www.cherryauto.ph or visit a Cherry dealership near you. Thank you! Chooks to go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Subukan ang kanilang pinakabagong oven roasted chicken na mas pinasarap dahil sa nag-uumapaw na flavorful chicken juice. Try also Chooks, their first dine-in restaurant ng Chooks to Go. Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Thank you! True Religion is in the Philippines, where passion meets power. Experience it firsthand. For your best style choices, visit True Religion at Conrad S. Maison Mall of Asia Complex, Resorts World Manila, and Hacienda Designer Outlet Silang Cavite. Visit also their newest branch at Grand Wing Newport City Resorts World Manila. True Religion, where passion meets power. Thank you! Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Magpadala with confidence kahit para sa negosyo o personal bulk deliveries man yan. Kayang-kaya yan i-deliver securely with Joyride. Try also the Joyride Taxi and the Joyride Car. For easy access around the metropolis, Joyride ang gamitin. So download the latest Joyride Super App now. Thank you! Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group, located at Unit 2, ground floor, Calle Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Elms Seafood Paluto. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center with branches at Alabang Town Center and Green Hills San Juan. For your skin assessment and treatment schedule, call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. Thank you! Asaya Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. Asaya Subic Beach Resort. Thank you! Sarisuki, may itindahan. Gusto mo bang kumita ng higit 50,000 kada buwan? Magkaroon ng online negosyong puhunan? No registration at joining fee. Download Sarisuki sa App Store at Google Play Store. 50,000 kada buwan. Sarisuki, may itindahan. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live smart. Thank you! Maraming pong salamat sa inyong lahat. Alright mga kaibigan, we're winding down the show. At ngayon po, ating itatampok na ang isa sa inyong paborito at bagong celebrity sa ating In the Spotlight.
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala.
Matagal-tagal din po tayo nawalan ng kampiyon sa boxing and kamakailan nanalo si Melvin Jerusalem ng ating first World Championship sa taong 2023 by winning the WBO Mini Flyweight Championship. Ito po ang ating itatampok sa In the Spotlight, the World Champion, Melvin Jerusalem. Po natin si Melvin Jerusalem, ang bagong WBO Mini Flyweight Champion ng mundo. Congratulations, Melvin! At salamat sa pagsama mo sa amin dito sa Power and Play.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening.
Una-una, ano ba ang pakiramdam mo? Anong pakiramdam mo? At ikaw ngayon ang pinakabagong kampiyon at kaisa-isang kampiyon ng Pilipinas.
Sobrang saya ko, sir, kasi hindi ko akalain na ganito yung mangyayari na maging world champion tayo. Nakuha namin ni Coach yung tagumpay.
Alam mo ba na walang world champion nung ikaw lumaban? Kaya ito pa conscious ka ba doon na alam mong maaaring ikaw ang kauna-unahang world champion ngayong taon na to?
Yes, sir. Alam ko, sir, na wala ng world champion, sir. Kaya sobrang excited ko, sir, na lumaban, sir. Yung kaba, wala na yung kaba, sir. Excited na yung grabe. Tinatahimik ko lang, sir, yung excited, sir. Kasi confident talaga ako, sir, na ang saya pakinggan na ako yung unang lalaban sa World Championship ngayong taon na ito.
Oo. Hindi ka na pressure, ha? Walang pressure yun.
Wala, sir.
Alam ko, nung tinitingnan ko kasi yung yung mga laban mo, nakita ko doon na ito ang pangalawa mo lang laban sa labas ng bansa. Tama ba yun, Melvin?
Yes, sir.
Yung
dalawang World Championship, sir.
Dalawang World Championship. Yung una mo sa Thailand, nung 2017, doon ka natalo for the WBC Strawweight Championship, no?
Yes, sir.
Ito una mo laban after that fight sa labas ng bansa, sa Japan pa. Hindi ka ba kinabahan, Melvin? Ito pagpunta mo sa Japan, unang-una, first time mo ba sa Japan?
Hindi, sir. Bago ako lumaban doon, sir, pinatry nila ako ni Coach doon na mag-training na almost 1 month, sir, para makuha ko yung klima doon.
Oo.
Kasi malamig doon,
So, medyo sanay ka na, kumbaga.
Sir. Tapos yung nilabanan namin sa arena, napuntahan ko na rin pangalawa na, kaya nakita ko na yung lahat, yung gaano kalawak, ano yung kaganda yung venue. Kaya yun, excited lang ba yung nararamdaman ko.
Oo, talagang preparado ka pala, no, Melvin, no?
Oo, sir.
Okay.
4 months kami nag-training ni Coach Mike, sir.
Wala ka bang naging alinlangan, wala kang naging concerns bago nung laban? Halimbawa, yung mga judges, yung lamig ng Osaka, yung mga tao, of course, siyempre, puro ang mga nanonood dun, puro kababayan ni Taniguchi. Hindi ka ba naging concerned doon?
Doon sa Japan, sir, hindi ako natakot na abot ng round, sir. Dahil kung sa decision lang, kung makita talaga ng Japan na talo talaga yung boxing nila, parang hindi naman sila nang nadaya, sir. Pero kung patas-patas lang yun, talo talaga tayo. Kaya yun, sabi ni Coach Mike, di baling abot tayo ng round, basta panalo tayo every round. Kaya yun, hindi namin inasahan yung nangyayari, sir.
So, ang pinaghandaan talaga ninyo, Melvin, kumbaga, buong 12 rounds. Talagang yun ang preparasyon ninyo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yung knockout, sir, wala yan sa isip namin, sir.
So, nasurpresa ka ba? Nasurpresa ka na 2 rounds na si...
Sobrang nasurpresa, sir.
Oo. Bakit? Bakit
sir, sobra talaga, sir. Hindi ko inakala na ganun yung mangyayari, sir. Pero yung nakatama sa kanya, sir, yun yung tinitraining namin ni Coach, paulit-ulit.
Kanan,
yun yung pinag-aaralan namin. Wala nang... Yes, sir. Tatlo lang yung suntok. 3, 2, ganun.
Oo.
Ulit-ulit lang, tapos timing. Yun yung ginagawa namin. Kasi yung kalaban, ganun din yung ginagawa. Kasi left-handed siya, tapos ako right. Sa maka-timing lang, sa makauna lang. Ganun, sir.
So, in other words, talagang napaghandaan niyo, napag-aralan niyo itong si Taniguchi at yung estilo yon saktong-sakto sa'yo. So, kumbaga, wala ka talagang kakaba-kaba na kumpiyansa ka na tatalunin mo si Taniguchi.
Sa akin talaga, sir, hindi ko plano yung matamaan siya sa panga na matumba siya. Body shot talaga yung plano ko. Plano namin ni Coach kasi sobrang laki niya. Mahirapan na siya sa reduce. Kapag malaki na yung timbang mo kasi, yung tiyan mo, madaling masaktan na. Kaya yun, pero lahat naman training namin ni coach. Kahit saan tumama, basta ulit lang yung training namin.
Ikaw ba, nahirapan ka sa timbang? Walang problema sa timbang, Melvin?
Walang problema sa timbang, sir, na under pa tayo, sir. Sa timbang
Under
nila.
pa?
Sa timbang namin, okay naman. Oo.
Oo. Okay. Alam mo, malaking panalo to. Sino mga tumulong sa'yo, Melvin, dito sa biyahe mong ito, itong pagkapanalo mo ng World Championship?
Maraming tumulong sa akin, sir. Lalo na sa mga sparring partner ko, sir. Sa Umida.
Sino-sino
Sila
ang sparring partner mo?
Mark Bisela, sir. Yung 108 pounds na number 1 sa world WBO. Mark Biseles. Tapos si Aranita. Marami pa, sir. Marami pang mga boxers na tumulong sa akin para maabot ko itong World Championship.
Siyempre, mga coaches mo at saka promoter mo, kailangan mo pasalamatan yan.
Oh, yes, sir. Always yan sila, sir. Yung mga coach ko, manager, promoter. Sir.
Oo. Well, maliban sa mga tumulong sa iyo sa training at yung mga kasama mo sa laban, sino ang mga nagsilbing inspirasyon para naman sa iyo, Melvin?
Siyempre, yung coach ko, sir. Kasi kami yung nagtitraining. Siyempre, bigay ko rin sa kanya na magpursige ako para makamit namin yung maging world champion. Tapos yung manager ko, yung promoter, yung mga taong sumusuporta sa akin, sir. Yun, sir. Lalo na sa akin pamilya, sir.
Ikaw ba may asawa ka? May asawa ka ba,
sir?
Melvin? Wala pa. Binata ka pa pala. Yung mga magulang mo, napanood ba nila laban?
Yes, sir. Tuwang-tuwa sila, sir, sa sir, nangyari, sir.
Very good.
Sir.
Okay. Paano yung premyo mo? Malaki bang tulong para sa pamilya, Melvin?
Sakto lang, sir, kasi tayo challenger tayo. Tsaka tayo yung laban ko, kahit konti lang yan, yung packet talaga namin, yung World Championship, pagkuha lang namin ito, saka na yung pera. Saka na yung pera. Huwag muna tayo mag-isip ng pera kasi kung para sa atin yan, atin yan.
Very good. Very good. Alright. Alam mo, hindi marami. Bagamat ikaw ay veterano, 22 fights total, 20 wins, 2 losses, 12 knockout. Ngayon, ikaw ay 28, magbe-birthday ka na sa Pebrero, di ba? Sa Pebrero 22 ba ang birthday?
Yes, sir.
Oo.
29 na, sir.
Magti-29 ka na at saka napakaganda ng pasok ng taon para sa iyo. Pero siyempre marami pa rin gusto makakilala sa iyo. Kaya gusto ko man lang magtanong, paano ka ba nagsimula sa boxing, Melvin?
Nagsimula ako sa boxing, sir, doon sa amin, sir, sa Manolo Portich, Bukid noon. Inuunahan ng kagawad namin doon sa Manolo, barangay Lingion. Tapos yung mayor doon tumulong sa akin. Doon ako nagsimula din nag-amateur. Mayor Clive Quinio, ngayon ay gobernador na ng vice governor na ng Bukid nun. Mayor Clive Quinio.
So sila ba ang naka-discover sa'yo, Melvin?
Yes, sir. Kasi nagpa-boxing doon sa si Kagawad Larry. Doon nagsimula sa barangay Lingion.
Okay.
Hanggang ngayon, sir, nandito pala sila.
Andito pa sila, okay. Ang pamilya mo ba, pamilya ng mga boksingero? Galing ka ba sa pamilya ng boksingero?
Yung tatay ko dati, sir. Yung lolo.
Nga ba?
Boxing yun, Mga mature lang. Yung tambay-tambay nga boxing.
May mga kapatid ka ba sa boxing? May mga kapatid ka?
Yes, sir. 4 kami, sir. Isang babae, tapos 2 lalaki. 4 kaming boxer.
Okay.
Ako lang yung nag-professional kasi nag-asawa na sila.
So I'm sure tuwan-tuwa sila at saka very proud sila sa'yo.
Yes, sir. Excited na sila na umuwi ako doon sa amin.
Oo, I'm sure talagang bibigyan ka ng magandang pagtanggap dahil sa napakalaking karangalan na naibigay mo. Ang tanong ko, bakit boxing? Bakit boxing ang kaya natin panayam? Medyo nauubusan tayo ng oras kay Melvin Jerusalem. If you wanna watch the entire interview, konti na lamang po naman yan. You can go to our Facebook page ng Power and Play at mapapanood niyo po ang entire interview. Gusto ko po magpasalamat sa Zip at Sunman Boxing for making that possible, yung aming pong interview sa ating world champion, si Melvin Jerusalem. Alright, bago po tayo magtapos, ito lang ang mga nanalo sa atin para sa ating Joyride Super App Top Up Promo. Mananalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits. Ito po sila, si Chic Erwin Mamaril, Michelle Villas, Angela Estabilio, Ruth Colgado at si Colette Quintana. Nanalo po kayo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App. I have a few minutes to just go through some of the nagpadala po ng atin ng mga komentaryo nila sa ating pinusuhan. Ano ang inyong bold prediction for game number 7? Sabi ni Justin Misagal, Barangay Ginebra mananalo with an all Pinoy lineup na pinangunahan ni Justin Noypi Brownlee. Ang ganda no na mula kay Leoj Rael. I think that's mind games between these two great coaches will favor Ginebra. Sabi ni Errol Grimares, ito ay hindi lang laban ng NSD Gin Kings, laban natin ito, kaya sa Game 7 mayayanig ang Philippine Arena. From Ori Babia, sabi niya, I will go for the local team to win it all. Jeffrey Zafe, it will be tight Game 7 match, very critical, yung rest at adjustment. Pero ano siya, Ginebra. Earn Rob, Ginebra in a close win. Mula naman kay Victorino Duran, nakikita ko na mukhang mahihirapan ang Gins. Natin advantage sa rebound at outside shooting ang mga dayuhan. Nailima de la Calzada, mananalo ang Barangay Ginebra. Edwin Ibanez, Ginebra, Pilipino tayo eh. Edmond Raimundo, Ginebra. Mike Hayel, Ginebra, Pusong Pinoy siyempre. Art Castro, Ginebra will take Game 7. At marami pa pong iba. Si Mark Jerry June Kagula, Bay Area Dragons ang kanya, no? But most of it, 99% ay Ginebra. Of course, it will be a terrific series. Marami po salamat sa lahat ng nagpadala ng inyong mga komentaryo sa Facebook at sa Twitter. Thank you so much for all your support. And that'll do it for us this Saturday morning mula po sa Baguio City. Sa lahat po ng mga sumubaybay, marami po salamat. Magkita-kita ulit tayo next week. At lagi po namin sinasabi dito sa Power and Play, tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit. At sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH Teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid. More power, more play.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko. Para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo. Ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulot, Sumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Maniga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katrabaho.